Hi, that's Kandy,
And that's Jodi.
and this is our uncensored magical opinion on all things magical, Disney, and otherwise.
Yep.
So, Kandy, why don't you tell them how we met?
We met almost 11 years ago now. It was in 2013 on a Panama Canal cruise. It was a Disney cruise, and we happened to be put together for dinner. And so we met that first night of the cruise, and it was like we had known each other for years. We just right off the bat clicked, and we have sons that are close in age. At that time, they were just little guys. And that's where it all began.
We were placed together. Disney cruises, if you've never been on a Disney cruise, pre-pandemic, they would do this for everybody. Post-pandemic, I think you have to request one way or the other. They don't seat people with other people. But pre-pandemic, you were kind of automatically sat with other parties. However, I do want to make one caveat. My son and I went on a Disney cruise. It was just the two of us, and I was so hoping, expecting we were going to be sat with other people, and it was just the two of us stuck in a corner. So that was awful.
Well, and here's a little pro tip, because we are getting ready to go on another cruise. And maybe we discovered this before, but once you do your cruise booking and you set it up through Disney, your reservation, you can go into special requests. And there's a dining option where you can request to be sat with other people, by yourself, a certain place in the dining room. So that's just like a little, depending on your preference.
And that was something that they did not have. When we first met in 2013, we went on our Disney cruise. It was a Panama Canal crossing starting in Los Angeles, which they don't leave from Los Angeles anymore, but starting in Los Angeles and ending in Galveston, Texas. It was 14 nights, I believe. And the very first night, we found out that the table that they were sitting us at was not going to be the table that we were sitting at. And when my son and I walked in the dining room, they said, "Oh, you're at that table. You're no longer at that table. Let us take you to the table that you're at." And when we got to the table, it was Kandy and her husband and her son and another party. And from the moment that we sat down, it was fate. It was destiny, because we became Disney partners. We go to Disneyland, we go on cruises. And so we decided, since we're getting ready for, yes, my and my son Shawn's 12th cruise, and your,
I don't know if it's our 8th or 9th.
So we went on 2010, 2011, 2012, and by the time, so you're 3 behind us. So okay, it must be your 9th.
Yeah, that does sound right, but yeah.
No, you're 4 behind us. It's your 8th. Sorry, because we went on another one without you.
Oh, in between. Yeah, that's right. And we also met another family, which we have taken many cruises, 7 together, right?
Yes.
This will be our 7th together with them.
So our 8th together.
Yep.
And our 7th together with them. So we decided, because we spend a lot of time discussing how the magic of Disneyland in particular has, I don't even want to say slowly faded. It has faded since the pandemic, I'm going to say, for me. So we talk about it all the time, and we go on our Disney cruises, and we're always talking about this. So we thought, let's do a podcast. Let's talk about, we always see, yes, there are very different podcasts and YouTube, social media, stuff like that, TikToks of influencers going to Disneyland, showing you the foods, or Magic Kingdom and all that. We're not influencers. I mean, if we influence you, that's awesome in a positive way.
We want to hear from people. We want comments. We want to interact. We want to talk about Disney and Disney cruises and vacationing and adventures and all that kind of stuff. I think,
yeah, and we're not afraid to say what we don't like. That's the thing, is I know not all influencers, not all content creators are rah, everything is perfect and everything's a 10. But we are definitely not that. So if you are coming to hear all of the wonderful and delicious and amazing stuff in travel, in Disney, on cruises, in the parks, and just not even Disney itself, this is not it. because we're going to give you our uncensored, unscripted, unsolicited, but you're here, so you're getting it, opinion, right?
And like, we want to hear from you too and get conversations going. And,
Absolutely.
we want to share things we've learned, some tips and tricks along the way, and just how we've been able to go on these cruises. And I feel like we figured out some ways too to like, there's deals out there and there's ways to save and, ways to make it happen. So
And
along the
not
way.
just on the Disney stuff, but right now, our next trip, we're taking and going beyond Disney. So we want to also give you some hints and tricks and tell you about where we're going in case you guys ever want to do it as well. So giving you, again, our honest opinion. It's going to be myself and Kandy most of the time, but also my son, Shawn, who's turning 22 on May 9th, her son, JT, who is 20.
Mhm.
And he'll be 21 in October. And
Yep.
then her husband, Andrew, who is going to give a lot of his 2 cents on the wine part. Correct?
Yeah. Or just like the thing that
And
he
all
enjoys.
sorts of stuff. But
Yeah. No,
and I mean, I can give my 2 cents on the whining part because I'm good at that and the wine part. But one thing that really prompted me to want to do this is I am in some groups and on social media, I follow some creators of Disney stuff. And I know I'm hearing a lot, and this is how I feel too, a lot about how since the pandemic, things have changed not for the good with Disney and Disneyland. And a lot of people honestly are afraid to criticize it, I think. Not only afraid to criticize it, but when you do criticize it, how dare you? It's Disney.
But you're paying such a premium. I mean, if you have passes or you've been a pass holder, I mean, every year it's just more and more expensive, but there's less available. So it's like the cost is continually skyrocketing, but your options and what you can do, those things are being kind of cut out, and the crowds are just like wall-to-wall people. It's like you're either tailgating someone or you're being tailgated and trying to navigate through. That's how I feel.
I have the not lowest, I have the Enchant Pass. We started out in 2013, right after we met Kandy, right after our cruise, we bought a pass so that we could go to Disneyland together. You've had a pass now, so we've had a pass since 2013. You've had a pass for how long?
I couldn't even tell you how long. I mean, since the probably late 90s.
Okay.
So I live really close
Consistently?
to, yeah,
Oh,
consistently.
wow.
There might have been one year I had a pass before my son was born. So
And he's 20.
I'm going to say 25 years, maybe I've had a pass. But I live really close to Disneyland. So, and I used to work, like 5 minutes away. And so it made sense because I would go with friends from work. And back then, I remember, and it was right when California Adventure had opened. I don't know why this pass sticks out in my head, but it was $199. And that was both parks, no blackout dates with parking. And they even had a $79, and it was like Southern California pass.
Yeah.
So you can, and I mean, and I get it. Like that was a long time ago. I'm not saying it should cost the same, but I mean, I think the top pass now, I want to say is about $1,800, $1,900. And you
I think
can't
it's
even park in.
I think it's 16.99 actually. So I think it's 1,700.
Okay. I just know it's gone up, and
Yeah.
you used to be able to add on parking to any pass.
Yeah.
Now you have to have the top tier, and then parking each time you go. If you don't have it, it's $35 per vehicle, which is a lot.
Now, if you have other passes and you park in the Toy Story lot, you get it's I think
5%.
25% off.
Yeah.
And people love Toy Story lot and they love to get on the the buses there that takes them right there. I didn't really care for Toy Story lot when we parked there. I would rather park in the Mickey and Friends and the Pixar, but then I end up paying the entire $35 every time I go.
Well, and it's like you're so far away, when you like
Mhm.
going to Knott's, because as I don't know if most people know, Knott's is pretty close to Disney. And so just between the two, like if you're at Knott's, you can walk into the park. It's still very affordable, where Disney, I shouldn't say that because now people will get nuts.
Go to knots, yeah. What I did, I think when we got our passes, they were like $200. They were still really inexpensive. We got the Southern California ones. There weren't very many blackout dates. And now I think the one that we have, the Enchant, is up to $850, $849 or something like that. And there's a lot of blackout dates. And what's really, really lost the magic for me is the reservation system. And there are so many people, this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox, because there are so many people that, oh my God, I love the reservation system. And I reserve 6 things at a time. So, and then I just get rid of them when I don't need them. That's not the answer. The reservation system, in my opinion, they said it was after COVID, they did it, and it was to control the crowds. That's what everybody was saying that it was for. And to make they have the right amount of cast messers, huh?
That's what it was sold as. Like, that's what, yeah.
And making sure the staff ratio was.
It made sense because things were reopening, and I get all that. It made sense, but
it is way more crowded, way more crowded than pre-COVID.
Oh, and
way
they
more
made
crowded.
like a demand, because now people, I got to get my pass, or I got to get my reservation, and so it's become this like coveted, like, I got to get in, I got to get in, I got to get in, versus like, oh, I feel like going today or whenever, you know. And now if you don't go, you have to cancel by midnight or 11:59.
11:59, not midnight. Midnight's too late.
Or else you get a strike against you. So like, if you wake up that morning with a sore throat, well, too bad, you're going to get a strike, or you better go. So
you go.
I believe it encourages people to go when they're not feeling well. And you like it now become, I went with my husband the other day, and I was saying, I used to want to go to Disneyland. Now I feel like I have to go to get the money, you know, out of the pass. And it's like, it's not the same, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get there. It's like, okay, well, we know we're going to go, and it's going to take like a good hour to park. And then you're going to be wall to wall people. And maybe you get a dining reservation. Maybe you can eat somewhere. Maybe you can't.
Maybe you get on a ride, maybe not.
Everyone's attached to their phones now, because
Disneyland makes you be attached to your phone.
I was just saying, because we were able, so we wanted to eat. So once we walked into the park, we could join a virtual queue to go eat. So I was like, let's say there's some people that they don't have phones. If you walk up, there is no option. There is no like, hey, we'll get you in. There is no standby. It is, they say, we're sorry. It's all done through the app.
And it's becoming that on the Disney cruise too. Everything is on the app. They used to give you what's called a paper navigator. That was everything that was going on throughout the day and all of that. Now everything is on your phone. And even the menus, you can ask for a regular menu. But if you don't ask for a regular menu, odds are, we do, because they're going to have you go on the phone to communicate between staterooms. And I know we're giving a lot of different information today about different things, but we're just kind of giving you an overview of what we're going to talk about more in depth in future podcasts. But when you go on a Disney cruise, they used to have what are called wave phones. And they were phones in the stateroom. They gave you 2, one for one person, one for the other. And you can call anywhere on the ship.
And you also have the landline style phone in the room. And then the 2 kind of portable ones, in addition to the one that always remained in the room.
And since COVID, those wave phones are gone, and you have to use your phone. So you have to, if you want to communicate with other people in your party or not in your party, you have to text them via the app. It doesn't always work. And since you're on airplane mode on Wi-Fi, some iPhones will work. So people are on their phone texting, social media, doing things. They're not present anymore.
Yep. I agree. And then the other great thing with the wave phone is, like, we would have our kids, hey, take a wave phone with you. And then if we needed to get in touch with them, it would ring and they would pick it up. Now it's like, you don't know, like, so if my son wants to tell me something, or I need to touch base with him, there's no, like, you have to be checking it constantly. And so
it knocks you off the Wi-Fi. So even if you're looking at it constantly, you're knocked off the Wi-Fi. You don't know. The next morning you get back on the Wi-Fi and you have 8 texts from people saying, where are you? Come over here. Let's do this or whatever.
Yep. And exactly what Jodi said, a lot of people, so like my son's phone was still connected. So like we're at dinner and he got a call from, I think it was my sister. And I'm like, wait, how is that? And it was on airplane mode, which is weird. I can't even like understand, but it does. Part of the great thing of a cruise is you're kind of escaping the day to day. And so, and yes, I get it. People can choose to, but not if you have to have it for your menu. And the only way to find out the activities for the day is with your navigator on the phone. There's no paper. That's the only way. So like if you want to go to a raffle or you want to go to a dance party or you want to go to a quiz or whatever, you have to be on it. So it's like you can't get away. I mean, you can try your best, but like for kids and younger people, I'm like, that's
and
kind of
even at Disneyland, when I go to Disneyland, okay, yes, I take pictures, yes, I take video, but it's for me to remember stuff. Now you have to be on your phone. You have to. If you mobile order, a lot of things. Some things you don't have to mobile order, but then you wait in long lines. So you mobile order.
If places you have to, they only accept like the
mobile order
places. You can only, because I went up and they're like, sorry, you have to mobile order. So you can't even order at the window.
And to use DAS Pass or Genie Plus or all that, you have to have your phone. Now, Walt Disney World has magic bands. Disneyland has them, but they don't do the same thing.
Kind of got rid of them.
Disney World does.
They kind of phased them out. I mean, like you can use it, but yeah, they don't have all the options available that they have at Disney World. And it kind of flopped here because they say Disneyland is more of a local park. It's a lot of pass holders and locals, and Disney World is a lot of people vacationing. So I think part of that fun is like, oh, let's get our magic bands, or you know what I mean? It's like something to do, but yeah.
It's not the reservation system, going back to that. Sorry, I'm jumping, but the reservation system has just lost it for me. So I and people saying, well, just make all your reservations all at once. Again, that's not good. You make 6 reservations. That means that the day that I want to go, you might want to go. So you made a reservation, but I want to go. So now I have to wait. Like,
and you have to keep checking. I mean, I was checking and checking and checking. It takes away from the spontaneity of just like, hey, let's go to Disneyland. It's, well, I mean, it's like a game.
We used to be talking and say, hey, what are we doing today? Nothing. Let's go to Disneyland. We can't do that. And a really good example is I bought 3-day tickets, Southern California tickets for my niece and my sister. Now, my nephew and his wife and child, they have passes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us trying to coordinate what day we can all get reservations for. They have the Believe Pass. I have the Enchant Pass. Now, the 3-day tickets can go anytime because ticket holders can almost always get a reservation. They favor day ticket holders over pass holders. So there's a limited number of pass holders, and there's more. I don't know if they ever run out, honestly, of regular day tickets. Probably do.
Very, very unusual, I imagine. Yeah, but sure.
So we were trying to find a day. So we found a day. My niece ended up getting sick. And it's like, okay, great. Now we got to find a day again where all of us can go. And people might say, but that's easy. I mean, you'd have to do that anyways. No, we wouldn't have to do that anyways because because not all the days are open. Not because of the level of pass holder we have, but because they're booked. They're all reserved for people that took all that day. We made another reservation. We all got a reservation. My niece wanted to go to California Adventure. We only had Disneyland available. So they had California Adventure. We had to wait till 11 o'clock to park hop to go I'm sorry, they had California Adventure. We had Disneyland. We had to wait till 11 to park hop over to California Adventure because we couldn't get California Adventure. I mean, it's really ridiculously, to me, stupid.
And it's overcrowded. You know, because we talked about not being able to get one. I mean, I'm like, there's so many people that are clearly getting them, and it's literally, we joke now because you used to be able to go, let's say on a Wednesday afternoon or a Tuesday morning or something. Every single day is like a Saturday in summer.
Yeah. It's like
Every,
July 4th or whatever the busiest
yeah,
holiday is.
it's just constant wall to wall, waiting, like lines are like 2 hours. Sometimes the Radiator Springs will get up to like close to 3 hours long. And they've taken away a lot of the shows. Like there's a lot of things that are empty, for example, or even like the People Mover, bring things back that people could go see. They used to have the America Sings building, and they have the place where you could go see the future. None of that stuff's being used. And so, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience or Captain EO, like that whole building used to be.
The Hyperion is empty right now.
Yeah, so like nothing's going on. So these are all big spaces that with these huge, vast amounts of crowds, people could be seeing a show or, riding the People Mover, doing different things, but it's like less available and more crowded.
Well, because again, we can't get a reservation. You can't get a reservation, but you can buy a ticket. So ticket holders, day ticket holders,
yeah,
are taking up because the revenue they feel, and I've read this so many different places that Disney feels the revenue, pass holders don't spend as much when they're in the park. So they want more day ticket holders, which really, I don't know where they're coming up with that, because pass holders want to go and try all the different foods. So they'll buy the passes and stuff like that. But also, they have a lot of events that they didn't have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So the parks, they'll close at 8:00. So
Yep.
even if you get a reservation, I got a reservation, but it closes at 8 instead of midnight because they have an event. They have a lot of different events now. And not only that, they have, like, last week, I think was DECA. It was some sort of National Spelling Bee convention thing that they were all at the park. The other weekend, they had all the cheerleading and they were all at the park. Now, I'm not saying that they
going on right now as well. So those are like special events.
I'm not saying these people shouldn't be able to go by any means, but you get this reservation and then you're like, it's packed because they have all the conventions, but you have to go or you're going to get a ding. If you get 3 dings, you can't make a reservation for what? 30 days, I think it is, or something.
If you get 3 dings within 90 days, you can't make a reservation for a month. Yeah.
Which is, again, really ridiculous because I'm going to pay $1,700 and then I can't use it because I'm being punished.
They just need to get rid of the reservations. And, I know there's people that say it'll be more crowded. Let's see, get rid of them do a trial run and see what it's like. And it's the demand. It's the like, oh, I got a reservation. It creates this, like I need to, and I think that really adds, and then not being able to, cancel day up. And so people are going, not feeling, I was there, it was yesterday, I think it was that we went and, watching World of Color, and the person behind me, it was coughing and stuffy and blowing, and kept, I would try and move just a little bit closer right on me. And so I ended up going behind them because just the coughing and the sneezing, and it's just, maybe they had a reservation and they didn't want to, I don't know, and I get it. People cough, people sneeze, but it just encourages people to go, even if they're sick. I think a lot of people would be like, I'm not feeling well. I'm not going to go today. I'll go tomorrow instead, or next week or whatever.
And it does, to me, it takes away, there's like my son and I, there was a time, what was it? Around the end of the year. And I know you weren't able to go. We all had a reservation. You weren't able to go. And so I was like to my son, do you want to go? He's like, I don't know. I have to wait and see what's going on with school. And then up until, I'm like, okay, we have till like midnight or 11:59. But it was like the whole day going, are we going? Are we not? Even like with my niece and her being sick, she's like, I don't want to miss it. We're like, let's just cancel. We can make another reservation. So you feel this pressure. When my son, he wasn't feeling it going the day that we were going. It's like, too bad. Hopefully we'll feel it when we get there.
Better enjoy it.
And that to me is not magical.
Well, and and it's like, I get it. People like that makes some people upset and which is fine, but that's just how we feel about it with our experience and the time that we spent there. And I know we'll have time to talk about a lot of other things, but on a positive note, we said we're getting ready for a cruise, and I do feel like the Disney cruises, they still go above and beyond. There's still the magic there in terms of like you get the chocolate on your bed at night, or I don't know, they still give you a lot of those perks because once again, if you're paying a premium for something like Disneyland versus not, it's like you're going to get, if you pay, like, let's say I'm going to a concert, and if I pay for a more expensive ticket, I'm going to be closer, or I'm going to have like the benefit of that.
Better, yeah. Just like on an airplane, if you pay for first class, you want to get those benefits.
And there's good and bad things to all of those things, but with Disneyland continually increasing the prices and, making it more and more expensive, they should be making the experience matching. Yeah, or at least maintain. It doesn't even have to be better. If they would have just maintained that level, and like it would have been like, okay, it's worth it. It's great. So I mean, yeah, we're honestly at the point where it's like, I don't think I'm gonna renew. And it makes me sad because I've had it for so many years, and it's just been part of like living so close to it. It's been very convenient, and I've always loved Disney and the characters and the experience. And so, it's kind of a bummer, but we'll see.
And I do want to say that, yeah, everybody's experience, it's very subjective. This is our opinion, hence the name. It's our opinion. So you may not agree. That is fine. And we would love to hear your experiences and how you feel. That's fine. But I know people are like, well, you make your own. Yeah. People say, you make your own magic. Yeah, we make our own magic. And right now we're not feeling the magic. That's us. So we feel it on the cruise. That's why we're going on the cruise. Yeah. And we're going to tell you again, we're going to do more podcasts. We're going to talk about it more in depth, the cruises, more in
getting ready for the cruise. I think that's something because ours is coming up. And we also, we have our opinions, and sometimes you and I don't agree, or we might have different opinions, and that's okay. Yeah. It's like, that's, like getting ready for the cruise. You want to pack for like 50 days and I want to pack for 5.
I want to pack for 50 days. I want to be packed 50 days ahead. I am stressing right now. We're at the end of the month and I am not packed, and I'm stressed out about that. I have my packing in my head, but
making a list is a great thing too. I'll start making a list about a month ahead and adding, and then when I'm ready, for me, I like a physical, not like on my phone, but like on a piece of paper, and then just making sure to bring those things. But yeah, we'll have a lot more.
And I use my reminders. I mean, my list on my phone. Let me see if I hate when it doesn't come up on the camera, but it's, and I just put check marks next to everything that I've ended up.
It's different personalities. Like I'm super old school in terms of I still have a paper calendar. I like a piece of paper with lists. That's just how my brain functions and works best. And you're a little bit more tech savvy and, able to utilize those resources. So,
but I definitely use a list, and I've already started. Like I have my camera, my GoPro, stuff like that, put in a little pile of what I have. And we'll talk more about this, but I bought like the European adapter for the plugs. I did that like a month or so ago.
Yeah. So. And also we're going to hopefully get to take, it along on the cruise and do some fun stuff on the cruise ship.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely. I mean, I would love to be showing you. I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to post while we're on the cruise because it is still expensive to get internet. And if you have internet,
we want to like, yeah, you can take like cameras and video little things. And for us, that's fun. But yeah, I don't want to be like tied to.
We're going to enjoy and have our, just like I said before, we're not influencers. So we're not going to be showing our meal at every meal and talking about, we will, when we get back,
yes,
talk about them all, show you our pictures.
Yep. And highlight.
Yeah.
No,
and we'll give you what our itinerary is in the future. So that way, if you guys have questions about specific places, you can ask us, and we can, before we go, we can also, okay, well, let's see if we can figure this answer out for you if we don't already know it. And we'll take your tips too. Like if you say, hey, when I go to Disneyland, this is what I like to do. And maybe it's something we've never done.
Yes.
You know, because we try to do like a day where we go on rides that we really have not gone on before, or like go to Mr. Lincoln, great moments with Mr. Lincoln.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, the little cartoons down Main Street, the Steamboat Willie, or yeah, like, okay, let's do the things we normally wouldn't do. And also sometimes we go looking for things like, oh, look for this on Main Street, or find the window that has something.
Oh, there was, what was it, a menorah during the Hanukkah?
Yes, yep,
menorah that we were searching
up
for.
at the window. Yep.
So this is just our very first podcast of hopefully very many. So we do have, if you look on the YouTube site, we're going to put an email that you guys can contact us, or you can put it in the comments. We're going to be posting audio anywhere that and everywhere that podcasts are hosted. But right now it's strictly, no, I think I did start the Spotify. So, but right now you'll find us on YouTube. And again, any comments, put comments in the comment section, and I'm going to put up the email that you can reach us at. But we would like to hear from you. We'd like your opinion.
Yeah, well, part of what we love to do, we love to chat with people. We love, people from different places or different experiences, or where have they been? Where have they gone? And, oh yeah, I got to try that. And, just having that interaction, to me, that's what I love. And
honestly, if you've ever been on a cruise with us and you remember us, because you will remember us because we have taken over a few cruises now. Say hi. If you're like, hey, I remember you on this cruise. Maybe we remember you too, but we meet so many people. No, I'm just kidding.
DJ Kevin, that was our first cruise.
Yes. So thank you. Thank you. I want to know where DJ, if anybody knows where DJ Kevin is, please send it our way.
That was on what ship was that on? It was
on the Wonder.
Wonder, yep.
Yeah. So yes, please send him our way. We miss DJ Kevin. So thank you guys so much for listening to our very first Uncensored Magical Opinion podcast. And we will.
Bye everyone. You say bye everyone. I see you.
And you.
Bye.